Taurus in relationship. Let's look at Taurus with Taurus first. I've actually seen it work, strangely. You'd think they were both too stubborn ever to find a middle ground. And that is the problem. You don't want to be fighting somebody as stubborn as you are. So provided you can just negotiate around that area where both of you are fixed and different, it should actually work fine. Taurus has got a very great deal of patience and ability to tolerate. So yeah, that works well together as long as you can avoid these tricky areas. So that might work. Taurus Capricorn works very well indeed. Taurus is not as assertive in getting what it wants as Capricorn, and so enjoys the fact that Capricorn can move things forward. There's a lot of dynamism within a Capricorn that Taurus doesn't always have. They're quite assertive people, Taurus, and they like what they like. They want what they want, but often a bit lazy to go and get it. And Capricorn just loves to make things work and manage life and have tasks to fulfill and achieve things and get pats on the head. And with Taurus saying, look, I'd really love that to happen, Capricorn can make it so. And the combination of earth and earth works really quite well on a practical level, of course. And when life doesn't really present stressful challenges because you know how to manage it, that takes the sting out of a relationship. So the combination of earth and earth works well. And Taurus Virgo is like a marriage made in heaven in a sense. Virgo is so adaptable and hard-working. Again, you've got this lazy Taurus compensated by a hard-working Virgo. And they kind of settle down to each other and accept each other reasonably well, by and large. Now, when Taurus is engaging with the water signs, you have this Taurus-Scorpio combination. That's extraordinary. They're both ridiculously stubborn, and they can continue the same argument for months, in fact, probably years, with neither giving way. And that locks them into a battle that neither can walk away from. And it's actually a somatic experience. I tried to leave a Scorpio woman once I was in a relationship with, and I couldn't walk out the door. She wouldn't let me go. She had this ability to pull me back. Some magnetic power that she had. And I think it was mutual. I probably did the same to her. Very possessive, both of them. Scorpio goes further into jealousy more often than Taurus. They're very powerful, both of them. So they get locked into this tussle, which is absolutely fascinating. And they spend most of their time in that tussle, some of it, a lot of it in bed. So there's a lot to attract them. They're very attracted to each other. But whether they can maintain a long-term relationship depends upon one of them having other planets that are able to negotiate and adapt. Taurus with Cancer is quite lovely. The ability that Taurus has to reassure and be strong, the protector, the one who's never ruffled. Yeah, the feathers are never ruffled. You know, Cancer loves all of that. And the real strong sense of being safe with the Taurus. And yet Cancer is kind of soft and moist in its wateriness, and Taurus can be a bit dry. So there's this lovely kind of sense of each helping the other with their deepest concerns and needs. A caring kind of relationship. Taurus with Pisces might work. It's got the same kind of water-earth joy, and Pisces is more fun, can lighten Taurus, and Taurus can stabilize and protect Pisces. That Pisces can get very confused about what to do next, and Taurus, nope, this is what we're doing next, and I know what's right, and this will be fine. So that kind of certainty is quite reassuring for Pisces. But there is one little awkwardness between them, is that Taurus is very fixed and firm and knows what's what, And Pisces isn't. Pisces is rather mutable and airy-fairy even, constantly changing, can't actually make up their minds or keep their word, and gets very, very confused. And to some extent, Taurus can put up with all of that, but it tests even the patience of a Taurus, this inability that Pisces seems to have to make up their minds and be real in a definite way that you can count upon. And Taurus does need the security of being able to count on someone's word, which Pisces can't give. With Aries, Taurus is alright. It's a fire-earth combination, which is, it's got its advantages and disadvantages. This is a very powerful combination for getting things done in the world. The certainty of Taurus about what to do, and the energy of Aries to go out and do it, and to trigger Taurus out of its laziness. I mean, Taurus isn't fundamentally lazy, it just doesn't like to change state. So if it's actually relaxing, it likes to continue to relax indefinitely. But this is equally true the other way around, where the Taurus is engaged in work, then it doesn't want to stop, it's determined to finish. And so Aries, which can start the ball rolling, even a very heavy ball with huge inertia of Taurus, Aries can get Taurus going. And then Taurus can keep going. And Aries might get tired, but Taurus won't stop. So they can work very well together indeed, and you can achieve a lot with this combination. I would imagine there's an amount of anger that's exchanged between the two of them. Aries would be riling to Taurus's love of peace, and Taurus would be irritating to Aries' love of dynamism and action. So that would be troublesome. With Leo, you have a fixed relationship between Taurus and Leo, the earth-fire combination. It's solid. If it works at the beginning, it'll work forever. If they can work out the stubbornness that each of them has and find some agreement to compromise, right, if you must have that, okay, well, I must have that, fine, and you've got this contractual agreement, then it can continue like forever. Fixed signs just don't like to change. Taurus's favourite saying is probably, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Leo's all right with that. Once it's got its position sorted out, it doesn't really want anything to change. There's no real threat from Leo. Taurus doesn't feel threatened by the insistence that Leo has to be seen as the leader, because actually Taurus is kind of capable of leading and prefers to do that from behind, right, behind the scenes. Taurus is the second in command that actually holds everything together, because they're practical, and Leo's vision is inspiring and raises the game. Taurus can do simple things very well, but Leo can do big things not quite as well, and Taurus can help with that. So once again, a combination that works on a practical level, because the earth-fire combination. I'm not going to say that for Taurus and Sagittarius, however. That's hell. It's one of these quincunx relationships where neither understands the other at all. And you've got Taurus, which is like a Venus energy, and Sagittarius, a Jupiter energy, and they're not looking for the same outcome at all. Sagittarius wants to be constantly changing, will give its word, certain that it's going to keep it, and then be more certain that it's going to keep its word to someone else in a different way later. And Taurus doesn't like that. Taurus likes to make arrangements that stand up to the test of time. So they each see each other as a little bit bizarre and unnecessary and difficult to understand. Why on earth would you want to be like Sagittarius, thinks the Taurus? Why on earth could you put up with being like a Taurus, thinks the Sagittarius? You know, it's like very, very unhappy together on one level. I don't see any any reason to try that one out myself, being a Taurus. Now, the Taurus air sign combinations, you've got the Aquarius first, fixed sign. Taurus Aquarius strangely can work nicely because Aquarius actually loves peace. Aquarius is very idealistic about what it wants for humanity, and it doesn't really like conflict and disharmony at all. Its mind is where it experiences its fixity, and it holds the openness of an open sky, like this imagination of pure blue sky imagination. They can really think things through, and that pleases Taurus. That Taurus is quite happy to have this logic, this rational approach to things. And once again, like the Taurus-Leo combination, if Taurus Aquarius can work it out at the beginning, they're both rather eccentric, they're both freedom lovers, and if they can find the middle ground where each has what they need agreed in place and can hold that as a firm commitment to each other, then the relationship can last indefinitely. There's no need to change what is not broken. And both of them will appreciate that. They'll know about that. They'll think about that and give it value. So with Gemini, Taurus is a bit rushed. Gemini thinks quickly and talks quickly and does different things all of the time. And Taurus is just like, oh, I don't like moving that quickly. I like to sit still for a long time and make a decision to change only slowly and move into a different way of being very deliberately. And I don't then want to change my direction. That's Taurus, you know. And Gemini is bored if it's going in a straight line for more than a twinkle of an eye, and wants to look around and talk to somebody else and have a different plan and be mercurial. That's their function in life, is to check it all out and communicate it all to everyone without caring whether it's truthful or not, or meaningful or helpful, just information exchange. And Taurus really matters. Taurus wants things to matter. Taurus is matter. Fixed earth, materiality. It doesn't really do mercurial very well. So the Taurus-Gemini combination is that's friendly and that neither would upset the other, but they just don't kind of rotate at the same speed. They would only come into contact when there was some reconciliation for a short period of time, and then they go off on their own different vibrations. You know, they don't know each other very well. That may even be worse with Taurus and Libra, although they do have this Venus rulership which they share, so there is a sense of beauty and harmony and rapport and being kind, I suppose. But other than that, Libra is much more concerned with the surface of things, the shallowness that Taurus would see as shallow anyway. Libra is like an oil that greases the flow of a social interaction by saying things which are trivial or slightly untrue or temporary, and you know, just to move things into a higher rapport. They like to find rapport with everyone. And to do that, they bend the rules a bit, and Taurus doesn't like that. Taurus is a real truth teller, you know, like, what is the matter at hand? What are the facts of the matter? That's what materiality does. It tells the truth. And Venus makes Taurus have the possibility of charm and getting along with people in a Venusian way, you know, just calm and enjoyable and so on, but its fundament is not Venus. It's a strange rulership, Venus for Taurus. I mean, it's appropriate up to a point, but there's a deeper rulership, surely. Venus is not the essence of Taurus, but it is the essence of Libra, so there's this kind of lightness of being with Venus. Taurus ought to be ruled by something more like Vulcan. There's this ability to transform things. Taurus is the builder. the gardener, the banker. These are occupations that cause big changes, root level changes. That's not Venus. But we don't really know the rulership of Taurus, I don't think. Anyway, it doesn't fit very well with Libra. So there, sort of Taurus with Earth signs, very good, even with another Taurus. Taurus with signs, very good. Except for Scorpio, which is like very dramatic, highly charged. Taurus with fire signs, very capable of getting things done, but don't go too far into the realms of rapport with Sagittarius. I don't think that's workable. Taurus with air signs, yeah. Aquarius is probably the best one, I would think, despite both being fixed. But it's not an obvious rapport.